A lot to discuss. I've been busy in a trial proceeding the last few days. Didn't have a chance to visit with the great patriots and supporters and Americans, but much has been going on. First of all, there was the execution of the two police in Los Angeles, California. Obviously, it was an African American. You can see that from the video that killed the police. But of course, the media, even Fox News, won't mention that. But if it had been someone who was white, clearly that would have been at issue. And then let's talk about the PGA Tour, okay? A golfer by the name of Kevin Kisner, very good golfer from Georgia, simply criticized an African-American NBA player because he blamed President Trump for the coronavirus and his family contracting it. They weren't harmed. It was not something that was very serious, but he blamed him. And Kisner tweeted back, well, maybe you should have followed the guidelines. Well, the PGA muzzled Kevin Kisner, told him to shut up, made him apologize. I'm very disappointed in golf. Golf has been the last bastion of integrity in any sports profession, at least in terms of during the coronavirus and all these riots and everything else. Even they now have thrown in the towel. And just the other day, I think maybe it was yesterday, a Black Lives Matter member screamed, F Jesus, devil incarnate. No great uproar about that, nothing. What I'm saying is that everybody has to be treated equally. It's time. And I know that when I talk like this, people are scared to talk like this, but someone has got to say it. And that's why this podcast and our radio show on Radio America is so important, is that whites deserve to be treated equally with blacks. Blacks deserve to be treated equally with whites. Whites can't get down on their knees and beg forgiveness for something that they had nothing to do with, slavery hundreds of years ago. We can't simply roll over in a crouched position and say, don't hurt me, I'll give you whatever you want, do whatever you want, destroy our cities, maim people, kill people. And we're not just talking about blacks, we're talking about radicals of every persuasion. Most black people are good, okay? They don't want to do this. But the radical blacks, the radicals of the Jewish left, and I'm a Jewish Christian, so you can't accuse me of anti-Semitism. I'm very supportive of Israel in saying that, but you got to say it. You got to tell the truth. These people are Marxists, they're Trotskyites. Unfortunately, the Jewish left gave us communism. That's a fact, okay? These people weren't really Jews because they didn't believe in God, and they shouldn't be held accountable to the Jewish people. But you got radical feminists, radical atheists, radicals of every stripe and sort out there trying to destroy this country, and white people are running away, and they won't say anything, and they just hope it'll end, and they hope that they won't be attacked, their families won't be harmed, and that's not the way to do it. You have to fight back legally and peacefully, and that's extremely important. And as I've said many times before, the president is not doing the right thing. I support him personally. I will vote for him. What's the option? You can't vote for a brain-dead individual like Joe Biden who doesn't even know the difference between Iran and Iraq. Yesterday, he confused war dead in both places. Or people that are running ads like Biden saying that Trump is bringing out the militias. You know what? There's nothing wrong with militias. Freedom Watch has a new American militia. As long as you act peacefully and legally, you have a right to defend yourself. It's in the Second Amendment. So too is the right to bear arms. And right now, people should acquire arms to protect themselves because the left is coming for you. Wait until President Trump is reelected. Every major city in this country will burn. Your neighborhood will burn. Your kids will be at jeopardy. You will be at jeopardy. Your grandkids will be at jeopardy. And you have to be prepared to protect yourself. So who can vote for somebody like that? I can't personally, and I talk personally, not as head of Freedom Watch or America's Sheriff, which I formed with Sheriff Joe Arpaio. Go to americasheriff.org and see what we're doing there. But it's very, very important to speak clearly, to speak the truth. Now, someone who doesn't speak clearly was just fired by the Department of Health and Human Services. That's Michael Caputo. I have a long history with Michael Caputo. He's been sued for Jerry Corsi. He is Roger Stone's, excuse the French, butt boy. He was a surrogate. He's not extremely bright. He's very rude during the during the Stone trial, the prosecution, he was screaming curse words in the hallway at me because I brought a lawsuit for Dr. Jerome Corsi, who he defamed. This guy is low class, and Trump should never have put him as a spokesperson for the Department of Health and Human Services. And this is what I've been saying to the president all along. You are who you associate with, President Trump. Set a new example. Get people around you who are not lowlives like Caputo and Stone. And don't do them any favors, because they're not doing you any favors. They're dragging you down. And in fact, the Democrats are using it. It was only a matter of time till Michael Caputo was fired. Believe me, I have a long history with him. He was my press secretary for 2 weeks when Stone brought in all of his miscreants into my political campaign when I ran for the Senate in Florida in 2003. Stone and I went our own way. So did Caputo. He left with equipment that I purchased with my own money. This is who we're talking about. And we're talking about Stone too. The president should squeeze him out. Recently, he appeared again on InfoWars, and he's doing the president damage there as well with crazy statements that he's making. So, and it was picked up on by the left. I don't fear the left. We have a leftist media strike force. I sue the left. I sue them for their falsities, for their fake news, for what they're doing. But you don't have to hand them things to use against you when it, frankly, is crazy and shows exactly who the president associates with. So stop associating with these people, Mr. President. And one other thing, you can't sit back and play politics and allow police to be executed and say, gee, I can't do anything unless the mayors and governors call me in. That's not true. On my radio show last week, and you can find it at freedomwatchusa.org, Alan Keyes, former UN ambassador, former presidential candidate, ran for the US Senate against Obama, extremely bright person, would have been the smartest president in my lifetime. Alan's African-American, by the way. That's what I'm talking about, good African-Americans, people who are patriots. There are many of them, and most of them are that way. But Alan Keyes pointed out that the president has the power to put down an insurrection. He can even take control of local police departments. Just to sit around and play politics and watch police be executed is not right. President, we love you. We want you to succeed. But talking is not enough. Tweeting is not enough. You have to act as a president. And let me compliment the president. He is acting as a president with regard to the Middle East. Historic peace agreements with the United Arab Emirates and Bahrain. No one else has been able to do this. Let's give him credit for that. This is one reason why Larry Klayman supports him personally to be reelected. He's done great things for Israel and the Middle East. He's done great things in this country. But clean out the dead wood that you hang around and take action with regard to the damage that has been done by these terrorists, these domestic terrorists. You have to take action. And in addition to that, you have to appoint better judges. These judges that you put in power are a little different than Obama and Clinton and judges. And just yesterday, an Obama judge, quite predictably, said that the Secretary of Health and Human Services, Homeland Security, was not a valid appointment. I mean, this is so predictable. I want you to get my book, It Takes a Revolution, Forget the Scandal Industry, because the primary problem in our country today is straightening it out. And straightening it out is the federal judges. That's the biggest problem. They're, by and large, a bunch of political hacks that got there through campaign contributions, are there for life. They think they're above the law, and they believe that they have immunity, which the Supreme Court gave to themselves and lower court judges, which they did not have the authority to do. Okay, so that's what I have to say today. Am I upset? Yes, I'm upset, because I see the country sinking. I see it going down the drain. I see people turning the other cheek when they shouldn't turn the other cheek. Games being played by the media. If a person's black, you can't mention it if he kills somebody, but it's white, yeah, let's make a big deal about it. It is a big deal either way, believe me. And it's time that people started talking clearly. This is simple BS that's out there right now, and it's harming the American people. It's harming our youth. It's not educating people properly. So pre-order my book. It Takes a Revolution, Forget the Scandal Industry. I have solutions. I just don't say vote for Trump. And as Hannity does in his book, Live Free or Lie, as I call it, I say, let's take action peacefully and legally. God bless you. God bless your family. God save your family. Share this podcast. You can find it at iTunes, Spotify, Roku, Amazon Fire, Parler, Parler, Twitter, freedomwatchusa.org. And I thank Radio America, as I always do, for letting me tell the truth as I see it, because frankly, we need some truth these days. We don't get it from any other source. Be back tomorrow with another special podcast.
This is Derek's O'Reilly Auto Parts story.
After the third time jump-starting my car, I finally realized my battery was dying. So I stopped by O'Reilly to have it checked. They tested it right there in the parking lot. It was bad, real bad. But they helped me find the right battery for my car and even installed it for free. Now my car starts like new.
Oh, 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 O'Reilly.